Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for watching my video. My name's Eric, and this is my son,
Kyle, and I am also his assistant.
Yes, he is going to be assisting me today. Today I'm going to show you how to smoke and cure your very own turkey. Now this is my first attempt of smoking a turkey. I tried a couple of chickens a couple weeks back. I'll leave a link to the video below. We were so impressed with how it came out, we decided to do our turkey this year for Thanksgiving. Now, in order to cure anything, you need to use a curing salt. And this is Prague powder number 1. You can get this on Amazon. I got this on Walmart.com. And I want to make a little correction. I'm going to be brining this with the curing salt in Pop's brine. And Pop's is a famous smoker. If you've been on the internet, any of the smoking website forums, his brine is pretty well known. And he messaged me, watched a couple of my videos, and he corrected me. I've been telling everyone that this contains sodium nitrate, and I stand corrected. It actually contains sodium nitrite, and there is a difference. The nitrite is for short-term curing, 30 days or less. The nitrate is for long-term curing, stuff like pepperoni, smoked meats, things of that nature. So I wanted to make that little correction. In any case, we're going to start off here. I have a 16-pound bird. I've washed it off. We're going to go ahead and make some brine. I'm going to inject the brine into the bird, and then I'm going to submerge it in a bucket, and I'm going to keep it in the refrigerator for 4 days, and then we're going to end up smoking it. So this is my first attempt. Let me show you how we make the brine in just a second. All right, guys, here we are with all the ingredients necessary to make the brine. No, I'm not going to take credit for this brine. This is Pop's brine. For those of you who are into smoking, you might know Pop. He's a famous smoker, barbecuer, who's passed down this family brine recipe. I guess his dad owned a smoke butcher shop for many, many years, and he smoked and cured many different types of meat using this basic brine method. And it's very, very basic. You first start off, I'm just going to give you the measurements for making it with 1 gallon of water. You can make more, obviously, if you need more. You just want to make sure the ratios are the same, particularly when it comes to this pink salt, because this has sodium nitrate in it. You have to be very careful. Don't use more than you're supposed to, because using too much could be deadly, because when used safely, it cures the meat, makes it last longer. But if used in excess, it could be very harmful or deadly to you. So make sure you follow this recipe to the T. So the first thing you're going to start off is with a gallon of water. I just picked these gallon jugs up at the store because they're like 60 cents. This is just regular distilled water. You can use regular tap water, but some people suggest that some of the impurities in tap water can alter the brine a little bit. So that's up to you. You know, if I'm going to go through the trouble of doing this, I don't mind spending a couple bucks on getting some gallon jugs of this distilled water here. So pour that in there. Now this is the basic recipe. First you're going to start off with that kosher salt. You can use anywhere from 1/3 if you're really salt conscious and don't like things salty, all the way up to a full cup. I'm using 3/4 of a cup, so not quite a full cup, but 3/4 of a cup of regular kosher salt. To that, we're going to add 1 cup of regular white sugar. We're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Here's where we're going to add 1 tablespoon of that pink curing salt. I also have 1 tablespoon of pickling spice. You don't need this for the cure to work, but I'm just putting it in there to add a little flavors. And then last but not least, a couple bay leaves. And that's pretty much it. You want to stir this up until you no longer see any salt particles. Now some people suggest that maybe you take the 1/2 gallon of water and heat it up to a boil, which helps facilitate mixing the salt and sugar mixture. It helps it dissolve a little faster. The only problem with that is then you have a hot brine, and you never want to inject any kind of meat with a hot brine, because then you're going to start cooking it. So I don't mind just giving it some extra stirs at room temperature. It just takes a little bit more time. But yeah, that's about it. Now, as long as you keep it in this ratio, you'll be fine. Whatever it is that you're trying to cure and brine, whether it's a pork or a chicken or a turkey, I mean, you could you can use a beef brisket, like for making corned beef, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you keep these ratios for 1 gallon of water. You want to make sure, you can also brine bacon, pork belly in this for making bacon as well. You just want to make sure that whatever it is you're making, it's fully submerged in this liquid. Chickens typically take 2 to 3 days. Same thing with turkeys. If you're talking about bacon, probably 1 to 2 weeks. And then if you start getting into pork shoulders and stuff like that, you can go 2 weeks. And then the beef briskets and stuff, you can go all the way up to 3 to 4 weeks. The hams and stuff like that, you can go much, much longer. But this is all you have to do. So I'm going to continue stirring this until I don't see any more salt particles, and I will show you the next step in just a second. All right, guys, now that we have the brine all made, you want to put some in a little container, and we're going to inject the bird. You want to pick up a really inexpensive injector. You don't have to go top dollar with this. This is one that literally cost me, I think, $3 or $4 at the market. And all we want to do is allow to put some of that curing solution deep inside the chicken. So this isn't really rocket scientist. You're just going to rocket science, I should say. You just want to stick the syringe into the liquid like this, and we're going to inject it into the bird. We're going to inject it in the breast, in the legs, and this is just going to help speed up the process of the curing. So I'm just going to stick it in here, and you're going to see everything kind of pump up a little bit, which is exactly what we want. Kyle, you like this, huh?
Oh yeah. I remember that chicken was a bit tasteless, so when you're adding flavor to this baby, oh yeah.
Yeah, Kyle has recently come into enjoying meat. He's never been a real big meat person.
I'm more on carbs and stuff because my body and my sisters are built differently than a normal average human. We crave carbs more than others, and others have it limited. That's stuff like spaghetti, noodles, pasta, rice, that kind of stuff.
So you can see as I inject it in here, everything kind of blows up. Don't be concerned if some of it squeezes out. That's completely normal. So I'm going to go ahead and finish injecting all parts of this bird here. We just want to kind of increase the weight of it by probably around 25-30% by adding this liquid. And I will be back in a second to show you the next step.
Looks like you're injecting a brain.
Okay. All right, guys, how I'm going to brine this is I'm going to actually keep it in this bucket. Now, this bucket doesn't fit in my fridge right now because it's full of other food. If you could fit a container with the turkey in the fridge, that'll be great. But since I'm going to have to keep this separate out of the fridge in the garage, I'm going to be putting bags of ice on it to keep it cold while it brines for the next 4 days. So for that reason, I'm putting the turkey inside a brining bag. So I don't want to dilute the brining liquid by having ice melt into that liquid. So this way it'll keep it completely separated. Now you want to use a food safe dish. You can use like a cooler. I picked up this bucket from Firehouse Subs for $2.
And it smells like pickles.
Yeah, it does smell like pickles.
Because it's a pickle bucket.
Because it's a pickle bucket. It's a 5-gallon bucket. Just be careful if you use a regular, paint bucket or something you bought from Home Depot. Make sure it's okay for food because you don't want any of the plastic to kind of get into the food. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this big turkey in this bucket. Easier said than done. I'm going to turn it up like this.
It may taste a little bit like pickles when you're done, right?
No, it's not because I got it in the bag.
Oh. And it's like any of the water that's inside, it may taste a little bit like pickles.
And now I'm just going to fill this bag up with brine. So I'll come back in a minute and show you. All right, guys, I already put around a gallon of brine in there. You want to hold it open, Kyle?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing before we did the next part of the video.
This is gallon number 2.
Yeah, by the way, he poured gallon number 1 in before we did the video.
And there we go.
Well, not exactly. Like, we stopped the video and then, like, we're going to edit it and then, like, he poured it in again.
hold the bucket down, will you? For me? Hold it down. Oh. Hold it down. I'm just trying to get this completely covered in the brine. You can see a little bit still sticking out.
Rub it in good, Dad.
There we go. I think we're okay.
By the way, guys, he's my dad. Because I don't want him thinking like, is he a grandpa or?
So I'm going to go ahead and seal this up. I'm going to put a bag of ice in a Ziploc bag on top to kind of keep that turkey submersed in the liquid. And I'm going to probably put a new bag of ice on it every 12 to 14 hours. You just want to make sure this stays nice and cool. So we've pretty much done the hard part. We're going to stick it in the garage. And we're going to let it cure for 4 days. So I'll see you guys in 4 days when we pull this out. We'll show you the next step. Hi guys, welcome back. We've had this turkey sitting in that brining solution for 4 full days. I took it out yesterday afternoon, rinsed it off really well, and I let it air dry overnight in the fridge. It's definitely drier now and a little tacky, so it's all ready to take some smoke. What are we going to put inside, Kyle?
Celery and onions. I love onions. I think it's a really funny thing that we can kind of try. And two, I also love celery.
We're going to put some celeries and onions. Now, we're not going to eat this. This is just to add a little bit of flavor to it. And then I also have some fresh herbs. I have some rosemary, thyme, and sage here. And no need to chop it up. You could just kind of stick the whole thing in there. And this is just going to give it some flavor as it sits in the smoker. So I'm going to get this stuffed up with the celery and onions here. And we'll see you in a little bit when we get this on the smoker. You looking forward to eat this, Kyle?
Oh yeah, and I love celery and onions.
Yeah.
And the chicken was a bit tasteless, by the way, but this, I bet it's going to be packed with a bunch of flavor.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, I got the turkey in there. I got a drip tray underneath it with some warm water. Catch some of the drippings for my gravy base with some onions and celery and the turkey neck and some skin to get some fat going in there. I got a blend of 50% apple and hickory wood chips, and now I'm just going to let it do its thing. I'm going to smoke this very slowly, 200 to 225. We can let it go slowly because the turkey has been cured, so we don't have to worry about any kind of bacteria forming if we're cooking it at a slower temperature, which you normally have to be concerned with if you're cooking a turkey that hasn't been cured. So we're just going to let it do its thing. I'll be back in a couple hours to check it out. Make sure you keep your wood chips going in there in your smoker to keep a constant flow of smoke. So we'll be back in a couple hours and we'll see how it's doing then. All right, guys, it's been around 2.5 hours. See how this turkey looks. Skin's looking all awfully nice. I'm gonna brush a little butter on the skin here. Oh, it's looking good. Looking good. So I'm gonna finish dousing this with butter. And we'll check on it in another hour or so. We'll be right back. Hey guys, while I'm waiting for that to hit the right temperature, time to enjoy a beer. Today I'm trying something imported, something seasonal. It's a Samuel Smith Winter Welcome Ale. And this is made by a British brewery, Tadcaster, North Yorkshire. And this is the oldest brewery in Yorkshire. It was founded in 1758. And I guess they have over 200 independent pubs that they sell this beer to exclusively. Maybe one of my British friends can confirm. But they only serve this around winter time. It's amber with a white head is how they describe it. 6% alcohol. It smells very good. Taste a little bit of malt. A little bit of spice. Tastes like plum. It tastes a little bit of plum and spice. Kind of like a Christmas seasonal ale. So again, Samuel Smith Winter Welcome Ale. Founded in 1758. Pretty good stuff. I'm going to be enjoying this, and we'll check out the food in just a second. Alright guys, I've just taken it off the smoker. I'm going to let it rest. I'm going to cover it with some foil. Oh, it smells and looks wonderful. We'll just let it sit here for around a half hour or so, and we'll be back later to see how it tastes. Alright guys, I've sliced it up here. I want everyone to try a piece. Pick a piece.
Alright.
Here you go.
Mmm. So delicious.
Wow.
Wonderful.
The
That's
dark
so
meat,
good.
you can see the dark meat comes out a little pinker than normal. Some people might think it's not cooked, but it's actually cured. Very tasty. Mmm. And very juicy. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.